these dogs can sometimes have to work all day and sometimes out of sight. So again, stamina, intelligence and health are the things that we'll look for. Don't care what colour they are, don't care if they're short coat, long coat, black, white or pink. Doesn't really matter, it's all working ability. So, before we put a dog on sheep, it needs to know 5 basic commands. The first, and probably the most important, is the command to get the dog to stop. Now what we use there is just either lie down or stand. So that section here is probably, I don't know, maybe a kilometre or so that we've, more than a kilometre I would say. And typically there are very few sheep on that stretch, on that section, because the grazing isn't the best. As you can see, this is probably one of the better parts of that whole stretch. When you get down the far end, you've got the marsh grass. They'll not eat the marsh grass. So typically 12 is usually the maximum that I get off this section here.
But anyway, sorry, you were saying Active Life Farm.
Oh, right. So it originally started when I first went into business for myself back in 2004. I started a company called Active Life Adventure and Training. So what it was first aid training, first responder training. We did some survival courses, some map and compass courses. And what I found through time is the first aid training and first responder training were the busiest one, and that's where I was making a better living from. So I dropped the adventure and training and just changed it out to like first aid training. And then when I started to develop the farm more, probably I was just too lazy to think of another name, so I just stuck with Active Life Farm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, no, just branding right across the board, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You could...
Like everything we do on the farm, it's like you got these free-range sheep, if you like, right?
Yeah.
You're not hardly ever in a barn, never in a barn. And the ones at home are grazed all summer. A lot of free-range chickens running around there, and so they're all active and they have an active life, so just stuck within them.
A long way from Cape Sable in southwest Nova Scotia, where Kevin Fitch keeps some of his sheep, he runs Active Life Farm in Londonderry, a place where he also keeps sheep and trains people in the art of herding. Some are more successful than others. I am decidedly not one of the more successful ones.
Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some basics of starting a sheepdog, working sheep. Kim's going to demonstrate a few things with Phoenix there, and we're hopefully going to get you and the pen to duplicate that.
Duplicate that, we're very optimistic.
Yeah. So that's the plan. She's going wide around the perimeter just to make sure there aren't any sheep anywhere else.
Okay.
So typically, to start a dog, we'll often start a dog anywhere between the age of 6 to 12 months is the ideal time to start the dog. And we want sheep that are used to dogs to begin with, sheep that will stick near the handler, not something that's going to be a little crazy and try and jump out of the field, or a sheep that's going to attack the dog, because we want to build the dog's confidence. In a round pen like this is a round pen, it's 50 feet diameter. We have 4 well-dogged sheep in there.
I was going to say, they're staring like they almost know what's about to happen.
Right. So calm sheep, and we'll get in there with the dog, and the first thing is to try and get the dog just to go around the sheep. We're not even going to worry about commands or whistles or anything like that to begin with. We just want the dog to go around the sheep without chasing the sheep and without creating havoc.
So this is very different than sheep on an island.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's a process.
I mean, that's where you would get to eventually.
It's a process, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
but you wouldn't want to start with that sort of almost feral sheep.
No, absolutely not. No, it would be just a little too much for the dog, and probably a little too much for the beginner handler too. So what Kim's going to do here, she's going to go in there with Phoenix and just try and get Phoenix to go around the sheep, and she's going to use her body position to get the dog to change direction. So with a dog like this one, you need to keep it farther back off the sheep, otherwise the sheep are all panicking, so it would be working at a greater distance. It would be really useful if it was a big flock. It would move a big flock of sheep a lot easier than what's in the softer dogs with.
I guess that's a consideration too with, like if you're doing this on a farm, you don't want to stress out your sheep particularly either.
That's right. So, before we put a dog on sheep, it needs to know 5 basic commands. The first, and probably the most important, is the command to get the dog to stop. Now what we use there is just either lie down or stand. Now it doesn't necessarily have to lie down, but it does need to stop. Next command, once the dog's laid down, we need to get it up and get it to walk directly toward the sheep. The command I use for that is just simply get up. That means walk directly toward the sheep. We also have a command to send the dog to the left and a one to send the dog to the right. Now, when we talk about left and right, it's the dog's left and the dog's right, not ours. You can also look at it in another way as far as the dog's left is clockwise around the sheep, whereas the dog's right is counterclockwise around the sheep.
So, I mean, a practical task for these dogs, often the sheep could be scattered through the field and you want to check them each day, so you just bring the dog, send the dog around the field and get the dog to bring all the sheep to you. Saves you walking right around the field. So
these are the sheep that you keep closer to home?
Yeah, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 35 here, and I've got a few more at home, so these will spend the winter along at the farm in the barn, and they'll graze out here through the summer. They'll lamb in March, April. So let's say I wanted to split a few off, either to move them elsewhere, or we wanted a couple off because a vet was coming or something like that. So we use a technique called shedding. And basically what shedding is, we create a gap between the sheep and bring the dog in the gap. So she's stopping them joining near the sheep.
Yeah, because I guess sheep would naturally want to all be together,
Get
right?
up, get up, get up, get up. Come by. They're going to try hard to get back to their buddies. This is going to be a bit of a workout for her. Get up. Get up. Come by. Good dog. Come in. Pip, come in. Come in. Come in. Come on. Come in. Good dog. Good dog. Good dog. He's moving fairly quickly. He is staying off the sheep. That's good. He's not trying to grab them.
Is that a common problem where the dogs might try and nip at the sheep?
Yeah, in the beginning it can be, especially with a young dog. He's now going around the sheep. Well, the different breeds of sheep have different qualities when it comes to working them with a dog. You get what you call a heavy sheep or a light sheep, and that has nothing to do with the size of the sheep or the weight of the sheep. It is how the sheep reacts to the presence of a dog. Oh. So a heavy sheep, typically your terminal Saya breeds like your Suffolk, your Hampshire, your Ile de France, your Texel, right? They're like stocky sheep. They're slow moving. They don't move easily off the dog. That's not something that you would want to begin with. With a dog, you want something that'll move relatively easily. These ones do. Like Scottish Blackface would be a really good one too. North Country Cheviots, even the Redu Arcots, they move quite well as well. Beck! Beck, hello! Beck! Stand. So this is Beck, stand. She's probably pushing 3 years old. Super keen dog. There doesn't seem to be a first yell with this one. It's like everything's 100 miles an hour. So, when we're talking about balancing sheep, balancing the sheep relative to the dog and to the handler. So if you think about a clock, the center of the clock, we have a sheep, we'll have the dog at 12 o'clock, and we'll have the handler at 6 o'clock. Right. Now the dog is balancing the sheep to the handler at this point.
Oh, I see.
Now, if the handler was to move to 3 o'clock, right, the dog would then be off balance with the sheep.
Yeah.
Right, but how we get...
So the sheep would go that way, I assume.
How we teach the dog to learn its left and its right is, as the handler moves here, if the dog has a natural inherent sense of balance, the dog will want to move here to keep the sheep in balance. Right? So as the dog moves from 12 to 9 o'clock, it's moving in which direction?
It's moving counterclockwise.
Right. And it's
Come
moving
by.
to no.
Nope.
It's moving right, counterclockwise, which is away.
Away.
Right.
Okay.
Right on.
Right,
Okay. So again, if the handler was to move to 9 o'clock, the sheep would then move to 3 o'clock,
Right.
which would be
Come by.
Come by, exactly. So again, you picked up the left and right whistle.
Yep.
Would you like to go?
Yeah, sure.
Do it. But these sheep didn't try and force their way out.
Yeah, I guess having the sheep out would be bad, wouldn't it?
Yep. Stand. Stand means stop.
All right.
Okay, it's all yours. Let's see what happens.
You're very brave. Come by. Stand. Stand. Away. Well, she's listening to the commands. Come by. Come by.
That's the wrong way.
I was like, that's the wrong way. How do you correct afterwards?
Ah.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, no. Come by. Come by. Come by. Oh, there we go. Come by. You're not even paying attention to me. You're just doing your own thing now. Come by.
Like the dog can figure out what the sheep are wanting to do, and the dog sometimes wants to head them off.
Okay.
If the dog stand there. The dog sees them going that way. Stand.
You
Once
also
they
sound
go
more
that
firm.
way. Yeah, once they gone that way, to stop them.
Right, okay.
But with training, once they've passed that point, we need to get the dog to go where we want it to go, not where the dog wants to go.
Right.
Right, because the dog doesn't really know. Maybe the gate's across there, but the sheep want to go that way. Right? Maybe we need to send the dog this way, but the dog wants to go that way. So we've got to take it outside of what the dog's instinct is.
All right. For people who are just coming up to train their dogs and work them on sheep just so they have something to do, how long does it take to get them semi-proficient, I guess? They'll never truly be proficient because they're not living on a farm and doing it all the time. But
So if you're talking about someone that wants to take a border collie, train it on sheep, and perhaps compete
like
in
trials and
sheepdog
stuff.
trials,
Yeah.
it does take a little time, especially sheepdog trials, because again, you need to be more precise. If you're just doing general farm work, you just need to get the sheep to you, right?
Yeah. So the
if
trials
you're
are
doing
actually a little trickier.
Yeah, they are trickier, and it does take time to get a dog to a high standard for trials, but there are different levels of competition within the trials. There's a very beginner class, right through to an open class, whereas a beginner class, it's relatively easy compared to what an open class is. Yeah, so like get a well-bred dog, put the time in. You can have something pretty useful in a couple of years. To get something like this, you're probably looking at least 3 years in most instances,
All right.
possibly 4.
So it's a commitment.
It is a commitment, yeah, it is a commitment. You want to go with this one?
Sure.
I'm going to totally confuse you with this one, so instead of combining away, it's keep and get.
It's keep and get, so what you just taught me is not going to work in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep and get. And lie down still or stand? What do you mean you think it's stand? You don't know the commands for your own dog?
9 of the Dalmatins. Stand. The handler's job is to sort of direct it, control it, work with it. But again, as a brand new handler, you need to know a little bit about
It's a
what
little
the dog's
different,
trying
right?
to do and what the sheep
It's a
are
different way
looking
of
to do.
thinking than other training, it seems.
Well, yeah, there aren't any treats or tugs or toys in this kind of training. The reward is the sheep. Get. There you go.
All right.
Try that one.
So get is clockwise.
Get has come by left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clockwise.
Get. Get. That's the wrong way. Get. 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 Keep. Keep. Stand. Stand. Get. Get. Yep. So why does she change direction sometimes. Because you're paying attention to the sheep, not me, I say.
Yeah, yeah.
Stand. 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 You recognize the sheep are behind
Okay,
you.
I think we've confused her enough.
Yeah. I don't know.
Jan.
A little bit better.
Jan. Oh no, that was good. That was good. Jan. 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 That'll do.
A little
Andrew, Andrew.
marginally better.
Great. No,
Completely different commands, though. Nothing like
Yeah.
making it complicated.
Yeah. Like I say, you could use left or right or up or down. Yeah, you can say whatever you like as long as you're consistent.
Why do you use
So you
different
can,
commands
so you
for
can use
different...
2 dogs at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So if
And
I
how
wanted
old's-
one to
how
go on
old's she?
left,
How old's she?
she's too soft, so I don't use her very much. She's the mother of that black one across there, Meg. She's the mother
Oh,
of
okay.
Meg.
She's the mother of Meg.
Yeah, but she's too soft with a sheep. If a sheep challenge her, she has a tendency to back down. Yeah, she hasn't got that. So
So not good as a working...
not
A
good
true
for a for strong sheep. Definitely not. If you just had like 3 or 4 sheep that moved easily from the dog, like,
Yeah.
you know, the kind of light, very scary sheep, she'd be fine. But because she's got naturally square flanks, and she's a very good outrunner, natural outrunner too.
Yeah.
Didn't have to train her outrun at all. But again, you know, I was hoping as she got older that she'd build in confidence, and she has. But she's still not quite where I would like her to be. So.
Bye now.
If you notice when Heather was running her dog was reading the sheep really quickly before Heather, and sometimes Heather, you didn't give the wrong command, and yet the dog went the right way.
Yeah.
Right? It went the way that it was supposed to go,
Yeah.
irrespective of what the command was. So
Right.
the dog was reading the sheep that much faster.
Yeah, so
And
what was happening is, like, also I was trying to cue her, and then she wasn't being super responsive to my cue because I was wrong probably and she was right, which is not great. They obviously should learn to just
I mean,
listen.
eventually you want them to do whatever you
Yeah,
say. But I think the
exactly.
dogs are a bit smarter than what we are,
Well,
especially in the beginning. And
Exactly.
the
She's
dog,
like, you don't
she
have any
doesn't know,
freaking
because I
idea
think the
what
sheep
you're
want to go in
doing.
there, and she's telling me the other way, but that's not the way they need to
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
So,
That's
yeah,
what
that's
definitely
what happens
what
in
was
the beginning.
that's definitely what was happening in some aspects of it.
Lie down. Lie down. No.
I think probably because it's used to working with me, that could be what it is.
That's very kind of you.
Lie down. Lie
So,
down.
is that something you would expect that though, right? For dogs to get used to certain people's voices and who to pay attention
If I wasn't here,
to?
perhaps she may listen to you. If I wasn't here, perhaps. I mean, you form a partnership with a
With your
dog
dog.
when you train
No,
them,
that
right?
makes sense.
Lie down, lie down. So that the dog, you sort of tune into the dog, what the dog's thinking, and they're sort of trying to assess what the sheep's going to do, what you want them to do, and so it's a definite partnership. Lie down. Instinct is in most dogs, it's inherent with them, in them, whereas with the handler needs to learn it. So when I get people in for lessons, I'm finding it's often the handler that I'm having to train as much as what the dog.
Come by. Come by. Come by. Come by. No, come by. Come by. Come by. Come by. No. Come by.
Try the whistle,
Come on.
Andrew. Try the whistle.
And which is the whistle for come by?
Stand, stand, stand. Try again.
All right. I can hear laughing from behind me. In my defense, using a shepherd's whistle is a lot harder than it looks. I challenge you, go buy one and try it. People like Kevin have developed different sounds, commands, and whistles for every dog. Let alone being able to do it, I'm not sure I could remember all those whistle sounds.
as they're doing the action, you associate the word to it.
Yeah.
Same as the whistle. So when
Yeah.
they drop, when they're slowing down, they're getting tired and they slow down, and then you can catch them in a lie down.
That makes sense.
Then you would say it and whistle. So then eventually you drop out the lie down and you catch it with the whistle. So
I mean, the key would be
Yeah.
being consistent, and that's what I really can't do, is consistency with this. Like, consistency with the tone,
yeah.
even.
Also consistency was just remembering the directions. That's me.
Well, yeah.
So
Okay.
So just a single blast is stop.
Yeah, and
The
just
stand.
a ladle. That means walk directly toward
All
the
right.
sheep.
So that'd be like a...
That's it, but there isn't got any room to walk toward the sheep there, has it? It's right up the freaking sheep's
I wasn't
nose.
thinking that one. They're gonna like run them over us.
That's it. Stand, come by. Right, give them the come by whistle. Come by. That's it, keep going. Come by.
We're in your way now.
It'll get it to walk toward the sheep. Get up.
Oh, I was probably doing mine too fast because yours is slower when you do it.
Let you go on left.
Oh, left. Which one's that? That's the... Okay. Oh, yeah. Dog's left, not our left.
Yeah.
So what's the future of sheep herding with dogs?
The future, I mean, what I would like to see more of it in Nova Scotia. Yeah, it is time consuming, but it's not particularly difficult. You have got to persevere. I would say to anyone who is looking to get into it to get a well-bred dog, one from working lines, and take the time to train it properly. Yeah, and they'll reward you many times over. Save you a lot of work, and it's very satisfying.
Because there's a lot of sheep around this province. I mean, you drive, you see them around.
There's a few. I wouldn't say there's a huge amount. You get into Scotland. If you
Well,
see a lot of
okay.
sheep, yeah.
I guess it's all
Or New
context,
Zealand
right?
or something, yeah. But yeah, there's a few sheep. Yeah.
Yeah. This whistle is just a folded piece of metal with 2 holes in it. That's all it is. There's also the plastic version, which is no easier to play, I might add.
What about your fingers? Some of them whistle with their fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah, look, see? I can't do that either. Can you do that?
I've got one whistle that I can do. Walk up. That's it.
Well, I mean, I can do that. I can do like...
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The dog.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky with that finger, though.
Yeah. Well, it helps to have the whole
He
finger,
whistled.
right?
Still works.
He whistled too much. That's what happened.
I wore it away.
Maybe you should be a little more careful.